When I was growing up, I went to a school that had 2 Native Americans in it, and it was me and my older sister, Shauna. So it was very difficult for me when I was younger because I would go back home to see my grandma, and she would be teaching me a lot of the different traditions that we hold sacred in the Navajo Nation, and then I'd be going back to Colorado. There was a reservation that was pretty close to us, the Southern Ute Reservation, but even that, like, it wasn't the same because we're not from the same reservation, we don't have the same traditions. So it was really, really confusing for me because I was getting teachings from my grandma, and then I was getting, you know, different life lessons from school, and then seeing other things that this other reservation was doing. And growing up with that, just trying to understand who I am and who, like, what makes me me. Here in America, our Native traditions and our cultures have definitely been suppressed. So it's very, very important for us, like Native Americans, to keep our traditions alive and to talk to you know, someone from an entirely different country about how important it is for them to keep their culture alive, exchange ideas, and talk about our different stories that we've learned growing up and how that's like shaped who we are, because that's definitely shaped who I am and what I'm passionate about. I'm very, very excited to be interacting with people who are from other Indigenous cultures because we have a lot of the same values, which is really interesting to me just because, you know, we're from completely different sides of the world, and yet we still have the same values with Mother Earth. Being here and learning about climate change has definitely opened my eyes of what I'm doing at home. I kind of have already experienced not having electricity all the time or not having running water, just because a lot of my family is from the Navajo Nation, where you only have electricity and running water if you're on like the border of the Navajo reservation. Once you get like more towards the middle, it's definitely a rural area, and there's next to no one who has electricity all the time or running water. So in that aspect, I've definitely experienced that before coming on this trip, but this trip has opened my eyes even more to how what I'm doing at home is really affecting people who are halfway around the world. We don't really think about it because we're kind of in this bubble where it's like, oh, we're gonna flush our toilet and our waste is just gonna go off and it's gonna disappear, or we're gonna turn on this light switch and it has no effect on anyone, or we're gonna throw out this entire thing of food that we didn't eat. You know, like just all these little things that I've been doing and my family's been doing. And I mean, I sure didn't really like realize how much that's affecting people who don't really get recognized for it, you know? There's very few people that I know who, before me like telling them that I'm going on this trip, knew about what was happening in Ladakh. I don't think anyone knew, actually. So I'm really excited to be able to go back home and to tell people about my experience here and hopefully spread more awareness, because I feel like a lot of the challenge with climate change is that people know about it, but they don't know how people are being affected by it, or that really like turning off their sink when they're brushing the teeth, like that actually helps.